You'll see Abraham Lincoln. Americans call him Honest Abe. I like that very much. And this is our Supreme Court here behind it, the highest court in the land. Isn't London busy today? Busy, busy. London's always very peoply. Also, it's half term this week, so the British children are on holiday for 1 week. See, because it's a one-way system here, that's why we would have loved to have gone left there at the last stop, but we have to go round the square. So now we're going to cross over Westminster Bridge, and then later on the tour, after we've been to Buckingham Palace, we'll come back this way again. Okay, so don't be confused. Now, I am a Londoner, as I've told you, and I actually care that you guys who come to London and visit us have a nice experience here. So I just want to warn you about some of the scam artists that are often here on Westminster Bridge. First of all, those pedicabs are notorious for ripping people off. They are so expensive. They cost about £5 for 1 minute. You could hire yourself a limousine for less money. So give them a wide berth. They're not insured. They drive really dangerously, and most of them are driven by illegal immigrants who are not paying any tax or contributing to this country. Okay? All over London, all of the pedicabs all over London. There's a loophole in the law as to why they're operating on the streets of London. You'll also see these food carts, and they're all illegal. You'd be alright with the peanuts. I watched this undercover documentary where journalists got a job in one of those hot dog stalls. I wouldn't eat one of those if it was free, and they cost £10. No hygiene certificate has ever been near one of those hot dog stalls. And sometimes you get these scam artists here on the bridge trying to encourage people to play magic tricks. Beep beep, beep beep. Yeah, they are very clever. They're professional criminal gangs, so ignore them as well. Now, anyway, have a look at the lovely view of Parliament here from the bridge. Isn't it beautiful? This is County Hall here, and there are various attractions in here like the London Dungeons and the Sea Life London Aquarium. Beep beep! Tours of London with the live tour guide, Golden Tours. Live tour guides on Golden Tours. We have lots of fun, don't we, everybody? Yay! Tours of London with a live tour guide, only on Golden Tours. The other sales agents are giving me the evil eye because the truth hurts. Guys, if you've enjoyed my commentary and you feel like showing me a bit of love back, I've got these little cards that remind you I'm called Emma on one side, and there are QR codes for Google and TripAdvisor, and every time one of you lovely people does me a review, my boss gives me a £10 tip. Thank you very, very much. I might be able to put on my central heating this winter. £10. Oh, very good. You only need one card, but you can do 4. Some people sit on the bus and do it. It's up to you. It does mean a lot to me because it motivates me. I actually read some of the reviews that I hadn't seen for a few days before I come to work today. And my mother is Irish. And the best reviews I email over to my mummy in Ireland and my auntie in Canada. Yes, I do. See, here on the right, St Thomas's Hospital will always be associated with Florence Nightingale, and she founded her School of Nursing here in 1859 at the end of the Crimea War. Sadly, more soldiers were coming back from that war and dying of their injuries from infections than died in battle during the war. And it was partly to do with the unsanitary conditions in hospital. She encouraged all the other medical staff to just wash their hands, and it made a big difference. So there's a little museum here on site all about her life and her achievements. And to keep her memory alive, if you're a nurse here, you're not known as a nurse, they still call you a Nightingale. Isn't that sweet? So where are we going to go now? We're going to go up and see Lambeth Palace and then cross over Lambeth Bridge where there are really nice views. There are always ambulances whizzing around here. There's a big accident and emergency department here. See, here on the left, this is Archbishop's Park. All the land here is actually part of Lambeth Palace, that this bit was just given over to a private park, because Lambeth Palace is the London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury. He is the spiritual leader of the Church of England. The head of the church is the king. So this is the garden here of Lambeth Palace, and then you'll see the palace coming into view. And the oldest parts of Lambeth Palace are 800 years old. But what you find with these very old buildings is they get altered over their lifetime. So you do often see different styles of architecture in these old buildings. As you will see here, see the part of Lambeth Palace with this orangey red brickwork, that's very distinctly Tudor with the shape of the windows. And you'll see the Tudor gatehouse here on the left. That opened in 1491. Unfortunately, it's never been open to the public. You can see they're doing some maintenance work on it at the moment. Yeah. Are you coming with Golden Tours? Are you with Golden Tours Blue Route? No? I don't know. I don't know, because I used to work for them and they were such a horrible company that I'm so relieved I work for Golden Tours now. I mean, go back to work for Big Bus if they paid me double. That's how much I despise them. We sometimes have tourists getting arsey with us and they say, when's the big bus coming? Well, I'm very sorry, I don't know. Because I've been busy doing commentary on my Golden Tours tour bus. I don't know what times all the other tour buses. And they get nasty. I should know. The older colour mustard. See, look behind you. You might like to take a picture of the front. Then now, Lambeth Palace looks similar to St James's Palace in London, which is also a Tudor palace. And it also looks quite similar to Hampton Court Palace. Now, that's not in London. It's about 20 miles west. But that's a gorgeous place to visit. Now, for those of you who like taking pictures, when we get here onto Lambeth Bridge, you can take some lovely pictures of Parliament here. Just please don't take any pictures of me, and we'll all be friends. So isn't that beautiful? From this side, it's actually a nicer view, and you often see this view of London on like postcards of London and like the Visit London website. See? Nice hat. So you can see the Victoria Tower more clearly here. So once a year the King arrives in his big carriage here for the state opening of Parliament. So the next stop on the maps is stop number 15. This is the mill bank. These are all government buildings along here. The one on the left is the MI5 building. So that's our internal Secret Service. James Bond works a bit further up here in Vauxhall at the MI6. So the MI6 is our external Secret Service, like the American CIA. And then here on the left, the MI5 is like the FBI, internal. And this is the Victoria Tower Gardens. You'll see in the garden there's this monument with the green boarding around it because it's been renovated as well. And it's the Buxton Memorial to the abolition of slavery. Slavery was abolished in the British Empire in 1834. You know, we have things that we all regret in our lives. So when I was a very tiny little girl of 5 years old, there's a church here on the left, St. John's, but it's now a concert venue. And friends of my parents were doing a concert in there, and I was supposed to give the flowers to the singer at the end of the concert when I was 5 years old. And I got stage fright, and I wasn't able to do it. And I always remember that from my childhood. I was only 5. And my mother said my father scooped me up in his arms and was so kind to me and told me it was all right. My father was a musician and he used to sometimes get stage fright. And my mum said that he was so kind to me. Isn't that sweet? This is stop 15. Over this lovely old wall, that's Westminster School, which was recently voted the best fee-paying school in the country. If your child stays overnight here as a boarding school, it costs £52,000 a year. But if your child is a day pupil here, it still costs £36,000 a year. Andrew Lloyd Webber went to school here. Now this is the Jewel Tower on the left. That's 700 years old. That's another part of the old Palace of Westminster. Now on the right here is the statue of Richard the Lionheart. He was king in 1189. He was Norman, French, couldn't speak English. On the left was King George V, Queen Elizabeth II's grandpa. Look at the back of Westminster Abbey. Isn't it absolutely spectacular? So this is where you have the Lady Chapel and the Royal Chamber here. There are 17 monarchs buried in there, including Queen Elizabeth I and Mary Queen of Scots, who never met in real life. There was a movie, Mary Queen of Scots, that came out about 7 years ago. When I heard there was a scene in that movie and Mary Elizabeth met, I boycott that movie forever. I'm never ever going to watch it. How dare these movie makers mess with our history like that? Mary was imprisoned in the Tower of London for 18 years, and they wrote to each other for over 30 years, and many of their letters survive. And several times when Mary was in the Tower of London, Elizabeth promised to visit her and she never did. So how could they have put that in the movie? Isn't that outrageous? I'm not good at historical inaccuracies. To tell you what's funny for me is whenever I'm watching a movie that's filmed in London, there was the remake of Mary Poppins. I really enjoyed it, but there was one scene and they were just behind the back here. There's this pub called the Two Chairmans, and I'm like, she's walking past, I'm like, oh look, she's in Westminster, and then she turns around the corner and she's in Regent's Park. I'm like, excuse me, that's about 5 miles from here. Now look at all these statues of men here. The only statue of the woman here, this is Millicent Fawcett, and she was part of the suffragist movement. They were the non-violent arm of the suffragettes that campaigned for women's votes and women's rights. So our next stop is stop number 16, and this is the stop for the Churchill War Rooms. Now this is one of my favourite museums in London. You do have to pay for it, but if you're interested in Churchill and the Second World War, it's fantastic. Now it's underneath this building on the left. So this is our Treasury building. and underneath it are the war rooms. And it's not just a museum, it's the actual cabinet war rooms where they ran the War Office in the Second World War. So I don't know if any of you were in London yesterday. I saw it on the social media. There were just thousands of people all along here. And those are the not nice people, some of them. See, the entrance to the Churchill War Rooms is this street on the left. These are all government buildings and they're all connected. But look at this beautiful archway here. Isn't that lovely? So it's just at the end down the steps. Now then you'll see here in the middle of the road, this is our cenotaph, the National War Memorial. Cenotaph means empty tomb in Greek. And this will be the focus for Remembrance Sunday and Armistice Day, which is the 11th of November, the anniversary of World War I ending. So lots of extra police vans today, because here on the left is Downing Street. Here, you can't see the door of number 10, it's up there on the right. And then you've got the Women of World War II Memorial here as well. And this is our stop 17. Now when we pull away from this stop, at the next slides you'll see the soldiers on horses here, so you might like to take a picture. This regiment I can see is the Blues and Royals. I think they've got the nicest uniform.
Is this the stops you would use for the war rooms?
They either two, yeah, it's either 16 or 17. It's much of a muchness. So that would be south-west London, and the one, it's like our zip codes, but we call them postcodes. That's what it is. Yeah, no worries. So this is Horse Guards, and the soldiers are on duty here every day from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Each soldier and each horse just does 1 hour in the morning and then comes back and does an hour in the afternoon. Prince Harry and Prince William were in that regiment. Not that they ever had to sit on a horse here. That would have been good for tourism. Oh dear. So there's more protests coming along here today. Oh. So just up ahead of us here, this is Trafalgar Square and Nelson's Column, and this all commemorates the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. So up there on the top of the column, that's Nelson's Column, and he is Lord Horatio Admiral Nelson, and he led the Royal Navy to victory at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, and he's considered to be Britain's greatest ever military hero. That is why he's honoured and remembered here. He's also buried in a suitably grand tomb inside St Paul's Cathedral. So we're going to be going left here, and then the next stop will be stop number 18 for Trafalgar Square and our National Gallery. I think you're aware that most of our big museums and galleries here are free to visit. So the National Gallery is 200 years old now. It's at the back of Trafalgar Square. And there are 3,000 paintings on display in there by artists like Rembrandt, Rubens, Monet, Van Gogh, Van Dyck, all the big superstar artists. I prefer the National Portrait Gallery myself, which is just to the right, just a little bit up the Charing Cross Road. There are always different events that take place at Trafalgar Square. I must say I don't actually know what's going on here today. We might be able to figure it out. On the roundabout here is a statue of King Charles I. To the left is the Mall, that leads up to Buckingham Palace. We'll be at Buckingham Palace in about 20 minutes on the bus. Is it what's all this? Sorry, I don't know. Is it an Indian religious festival? I think it might hate me. Sorry. They do not know, but it's quite busy, isn't it? Oh, it's Diwali, so I'm not wrong. You know, Diwali is the Hindu festival. Oh yes, because it's always close to Guy Fawkes, because they have fireworks, and so do we. This is stop 18. Are you glad you came on the tour with me?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you do it for me? You're a good man, all the good karma. Thank you so much. Thank you. Are you going to come all the way back to Waterloo with us? See, this is the Canadian High Commission, Canada House. Hi guys, how are you? All right? Good. Because they're doing crowd control, I think they're letting people in this side. They probably have to security check everyone. That's what has to happen these days, isn't it? To the right of us is a statue of poor old mad King George III. He was our third longest reigning monarch. He reigned from 1760 to 1820. So this bit of the tour is a bit like playing Monopoly. Yes. Because now we're going to go down Pall Mall. Yes. So Pall Mall is full of private members clubs. The one on the left here with the pink flag is the Institute of Directors. So you have to be the CEO or the chairman of a company to be a member of this one. And all of the buildings along here are all these private clubs. And all the land and all these buildings are owned by the king. Now we'll be turning right here. If we drove to the end of Pall Mall, we'd see St James's Palace, and next door to that is Clarence House. And that's where the King and Camilla have been living for nearly 20 years. But Clarence House was always built to be a private royal residence. So you can't see it. See, I was just talking about Florence Nightingale. This is a statue of her holding her lamp. Because when you see her in movies, it's like a big lamp. But that is what she would have carried, a little oil lamp like that would have contained whale oil. Like Aladdin's lamp, exactly. So when we get to the top here, then we'll be at Piccadilly Circus. It's always a busy part of London. British people actually use Piccadilly Circus as an expression to describe other busy places we visit. We do. So when we get to the top, we'll see Piccadilly Circus, then we'll turn left, and that will be our stop 19, and that's also our stop for Leicester Square, Chinatown, Soho, and Regent Street. The orange route, aren't you? You want to go to Harrods? Yeah. 3 more stops. Okay. What do you guys do?
We go to Waterloo and then to the orange.
So you can't get the orange from Waterloo.
Oh.
What I would advise is do the same as. See, you can't see the front of Buckingham Palace anyway on our bus because tour buses don't drive. I would recommend you guys also get off at stop 21. At this point, we will have done 90% of the Blue Route, and we'll only be driving back through Parliament Square and Westminster Bridge where you've already been. Okay. So I would recommend
So no one sees the front of Buckingham Palace?
Tour buses, trucks and large vehicles are prohibited from driving past the front of the palace. The other thing that some people do, I'll say this to both, is some people come round to stop 24, they walk the front of Buckingham Palace, and then across the no problem. We are, yes. Shall I tell you something, sir? You're doing the night tour. Guessing your tour guide, as you said. I can tell some other stories about that. Yeah. Yeah, so you're coming up here now.
It's a camera.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
Yes, it's a very nice camera.
it's just we always have a button
Yeah.
for the orange room.
So small.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will come back.
But it's a wide.
Whatever Buckingham Palace.
Panoramic.
Yes. Yeah.
So you could do that. No, it was either stop 23 at Victoria, but there you have to stand at the bus stop. Whilst stop 21, there's a bus waiting right there. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the nicest bit here. This first, just Lily White's here is the biggest sports shop in London. If you wanted to take home any like sporting merchandise or souvenirs, this is where you'd be most likely to find it. If you wanted a Wimbledon sweater, a pair of Arsenal socks, that kind of thing. But it will all close at 6 p.m. The rest of the week, the stores close at 8 p.m. Late night shopping is on a Thursday till 9 p.m. Let me give you two as a little tip. Never eat in a restaurant on Piccadilly Circus or Leicester Square. Tell us where us Londoners go. We go to Soho and Chinatown. Much nicer, much better places to eat and cooler. See this diagonal right, that's Shaftesbury Avenue. There are lots of theatres up there. To the right of it is Chinatown, you can't miss it. To the left, behind the advertising boards, is Soho. And then the second left here is Regent Street. Tour buses are not allowed up Regent Street and Oxford Street. Regent Street is one of London's most beautiful streets. And there's a nice little cut through here on the right, Eyre Street, which you can walk through. And then our stop is here, stop number 19. Sorry, this isn't the stop, this is the traffic lights. That stop there, S, that's the one over there. Where are you going, ladies? Need any help? This Eyre Street here was in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry and his little friends were flying through there on their broomsticks. Isn't it a nice design? Nice. And then this is stop 19. Oh, there's a new Paddington Bear movie. Paddington goes back to Peru. No, we want him in London. Don't send him back to Peru. Yeah, just looking there. Yeah, hello. Hi there. Well